We're about to begin. Thank you for taking your seats. Welcome to the 124th Annual Milton Union Alumni Banquet. My name is Julie Tinnerman Anderson from the class of 1986, and I am honored to serve as this year's Alumni President. I would like to extend a big thanks to the class of 1987 for organizing and decorating for this year's banquet. As always, a special thanks to the sophomore class for serving and for Brick House Cafe for the wonderful meal we are about to enjoy. It is great to see so many people in attendance tonight. Over 700 of you came to reminisce with friends, tour this beautiful building, dance the last cotillion, and enjoy our high school for one last time. As memories from years ago flood our minds, we bid farewell to this monument of education. Milton Union High School was erected in 1938. Before this building, many of you attended McKinley School off Miami Street. About 500 students attend MU High today. These walls have taught notable greats like Bob Schul, Mike Kelly, Carl Broomball, and Charlie Green. Many leaders have also reigned here. See if you recognize the names of these principals who were honored to serve here. E.L.D. Haven, R.M. Duncan, O.E. Buby, R.L. Osborne, John, known as Jack Williams, Alan Smith, Diane Gromes, Brian Powderly, and last but certainly not least, Mr. Ed Lindensky. Big Ed served here. Big Ed served here as principal at Milton for 22 years. He greeted everyone with a big smile, shining eyes, and a friendly voice. Ed Lindensky was a genuine man who treated everyone with respect. One of my favorite movies is Mr. Holland's Opus. The movie is about a teacher who really never knew how many lives he touched over his career until his retirement. Flocks of people came to pay tribute to him, and he was humbled and brought to tears by the end of the movie. Ed Lindensky, in every way, is like Mr. Holland. I don't think he had any idea how many lives he touched. We were all saddened by his recent passing. I hope he and his family know just how special he was to this building and the community. So friends, family, and classmates, sit back and enjoy the fellowship and food this night brings. Soak in the memories and share with one another your favorite stories of years past. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce my friend Ingrid Kotzenberger McNeil from the class of 1987. She will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, Matt Flora, also from the class of 1987, will provide the invocation for tonight.
Good evening. Let's bow our heads and pray. Lord God Almighty, we pause this evening in gratitude, Father, for memories, the ability to learn, for this institution, for the teachers, for all the memories that we have here, the friendships and the relationships, Father God, that you have blessed us with here. We thank you for that, Lord, and we also thank you tonight, Lord, for the nation that we live in, where we have freedoms, Father, where we can come and learn and go out and do the things, Father God, that you've called us to do. So, Father, tonight we ask for your presence here. We ask for your blessing upon the fellowship and upon our time here. We thank you, Father, for the past, and we thank you for the future, where this school is going. We ask that you bless this food, and we ask all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Hey, I I hope everyone enjoyed their meal. We're going to get started. I would like to take a minute to introduce the special guests seated up here on the stage. Please stand or wave as your name is called. Mr. and Mrs. Mike Kelly. Jenny and Mark Rammel. Dr. William and Joy Ginn. Mr. David Wyan. Pam Stonerock Paulus. Sherry Stamper Beard. Mr. Scott Bloom. And Gerald and Sharon Harley. Okay, at this time I would like to introduce our special guest, Mr. Mike Kelly.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you this evening. I've been asked to share a couple of thoughts. Maybe some of my experiences has been interesting in sitting up here with Dr. Ginn and at the head table and hear some of the stories and sharing some of the experiences that we've all had, and I'm sure you've done the same thing at your table. Obviously, there's a common thread that runs through many of us this evening. I was made aware of the fact that this building was constructed in 1938, and I'm sure most of you are aware of that as well. But I was thinking back this morning that there have been 4 generations of Kellys that have graduated from West Milton. One generation was before McKinley. 2 generations graduated from McKinley, and then my brother and my sister and I graduated from this particular building. Before I share a couple of thoughts, I want to get all of you involved in this just a little bit. I'd like for you, if you have a pen or a pencil, to take it out, and what I want you to do, and if you don't have a pen or pencil, that's okay. I want you to share this with the persons that you're sitting with. I want you to write 3 names of people that has had a major influence on you in your lives up to this point. 3 names, besides your parents or your guardians. Please do that. If you don't have a pen or paper, share that with the neighbor. Well, I got you thinking a little bit, didn't I? Everybody got it? We all realize that bricks and mortar are important. School buildings are important. They help us in general functioning, in organization, in our daily structure. But I think we would all agree it's really about people. People that we have the opportunity to interact with, people that help us grow and challenge us. During my walk, I've been asked many times, when did you decide that you wanted to get into coaching and to be a teacher? That moment is very, very clear to me yet today. Even after 52 years as a 6th grader over in McKinley. It was a cold, rainy day. It was early in the spring. We had gym class once a week. As we all know, our favorite class, by far. Mr. Widener, I'm sorry, I know you're out there. You're my 2nd favorite class. Mr. Widener was my neighbor, too. And Ludlow Falls, how about that? But it was 52 years ago. It was a cold, rainy day, and we're walking from McKinley to this gymnasium. We come in this hallway right over here. And right at this very end was the gym teacher's office. Coach Ginn, Billy's dad. Had shorts on, had a whistle around his neck, had a clipboard, had a great big smile on his face, and he was coaching everything. He was the man. And as a sixth grader, I thought, wow. I couldn't wait to get home that night and ask my father. Father worked at a factory in Dayton, NCR, drove back and forth 45 minutes one way every day for 45 years. Dad came home that night. I said, Dad, Coach Ginn, does he get paid very much? Oh, he gets paid a whole lot more than I do. At that moment, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to wear short pants every day, put a whistle on, have a smile on my face, and just play ball. I thought, wow, it was a factor in my life. It was an influence in my life. A couple of years later, I had that early gym class. For some reason, it wasn't scheduled in the afternoon. Still over at McKinley. We walk over. Coach Ginn grabs me by the arm. He says, Kelly, I want you to go down in the coach's office downstairs. And I bet that room is still down there. I bet I could walk. I know I'd go down the steps. The boys' locker room's right there. You go in, it's right to the right there. So I want you to go down there. There's a couple of players down there, and I want you to ask them for a stopwatch. I said, well, who are those? Who are those players? You know, they're playing football and basketball. Chuck Green, Ronnie Berner. Ronnie's here tonight. I saw him when I walked in. Wow. Here I am, just a little guy, and they were two gentlemen, two athletes that everybody had great respect for. And I thought, I get to go down and ask them for a stopwatch. I get down there, and as we did before we had dinner, we said the Pledge of Allegiance. Loudspeaker comes on. We have our morning announcements. We have a prayer. We stand and have Pledge of Allegiance. Now here I am. Here are these guys. I'm thinking, okay. I'm sitting down with them and we're talking a little bit. They're talking about getting ready for the basketball game that night. And I'm thinking, I just wonder if they'll really bow their heads when they pray on that speaker. I just wonder, just three of us, will they really stand Pledge Allegiance? They both snapped up, and I was right behind them. I snapped up, and we made up a flag, and we said the Pledge Allegiance. When they bowed their head, they closed their eyes. Respect. Great respect for the people that touched me. A couple of outstanding student athletes. And as we all know, Chuck Green went into the Hall of Fame, had a great career over at Wittenberg. I had a chance to visit with him a couple of times the last couple of years. He asked the other day, is the Dairy Queen still going? I said, yep, it's going. It died for a while, but then it picked back up. I saw somebody opened it back up again. Sophomore year in high school. Our very own Bob Schul. Bob's in the audience tonight. Bob, please stand and be recognized, please. Now the Frosty Tops all remember Bob Schul. You youngins down here, you don't know who in the heck Bob Schul is, probably. Won the gold medal, 5,000 meters in Tokyo. He comes home, and his mother is our teacher, the class of '66. I see some of them back there in the corner. His mother was our English teacher. Boy, was she tough, Bob. Woo! She was tough. Comes home, and the whole community has a parade. Everybody's fighting for a spot to watch Bob Schul come in. Somehow or another, My dad, we found a spot right out here in front, right here in this parking lot. And that's where the parade ended, right there. It was a beautiful day. I can still picture it, sun shining, and he's in a convertible, and he comes down the street, and you could hear him clapping all the way down to Wurtzy's, clear downtown, all the way up through. And that sun was shining off of his medal. And I thought to myself, it can be done. It can be done. Whatever it takes. And that's what Bob Schul is all about. Special moment in my life and this opportunity to be here in this high school. And then Coach Lendinsky and his family are with us here to my right and to your left. New guy comes into town, new basketball coach, new assistant football coach, head baseball coach. Now please understand, I was very, very average as an athlete, at best. But I did participate in all three sports. I was horrendous in basketball. Hideous. It was terrible. But my father expected me to play in all three. And I did not want to play basketball my junior year. And I'm thinking, okay, I got to deal with my old man, and I got to face Coach Lendinsky. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I fretted for 2 weeks. And finally, I caught him right over here, right about where that S is, before practice one day, basketball practice. And I said something like, Coach, you know I'm a catcher, and we have 3 pitchers next year. They really need a lot of work this winter. And I think I might serve myself and you best if I worked with those pitchers and gave up basketball. I looked at Ed. He says, Mike, I think that's a great idea. Bottom line, I think I kept him from cutting me that year. A special friend to many of us, and certainly a real mentor in my life, in my walk, in my career. Ed always had a way of putting a positive spin on virtually everything. So how about you? Take a look at that list. I want to know. I was going to ask, I shared this with my wife Jeannie on the way up. She said, no, don't do that. I said, yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want everybody in this group, everybody's here, that listed is one of your 3 most influential people besides your parents or your guardian. Listed a teacher or a coach. I want you to stand up. I think I made my point. Thank you very much.
And at this time, I would like to introduce the speaker, and so he can introduce his class, Mr. Scott Fogel for 1987.
Good evening. My name is Scott Fogel, and I'm very honored and proud to represent my class up here to introduce my classmates. First of all, I would like to thank Tom Beck with the WMPA. He's done a great job putting together the videos, and we worked a lot of things through him, and he took a lot of extra time out of his schedule to do that. I'd like to also thank Ingrid Kokesberger McNeil. She was my sidekick with all of this. I don't know how I could have done it without her help. And also Alan Jones, because he worked up our programs for us that you guys are looking at right now. So appreciate that. I would also like to recognize our class advisor. Keith Kaufman was our class advisor, and I know he's here with his wife tonight. And Keith Kaufman and I are also related from my mother's side of the family, so a little tidbit of information. Next, I'd like to introduce all of our classmates that are here. Once I get done introducing all of you, if you could all please stand together, give a hoot and holler, I'd appreciate it. First up is Lisa Ramel-Ramez, Catherine Stefanko Armentrout, Carrie Maupin-Trimbach, Keith Arts, Keith Sahosky, David Minton, Steve Zins, Kevin Moat, Ingrid Kokesberger McNeil, Matt Flora, Jody Hensley Brush, Shonda Smith Church, Vicki Vance Tarr, Dave Thompson, Cindy Coe Broomball, Steve Seaman, Missy Goddard Stith, Jeff Martin, Shell Donaldson Dabrowski, Valerie Marshall Brush, Tia Fisher Reardon, Carissa Panner Storms, Thomas Beck, Alan Jones, Tony Bianco, and from Missouri, she left our sophomore year, and this tells you how much she loves our class, Kelly Kreider Hoffman, Matthew and Michael Bakehausen, our twins, and Andy White. You can all stand, please. All right, a little bit more information. We had 153 graduated in our class of 87. Unfortunately, since 1987, we've lost 3 of our classmates, Brian Hafner, Robert Dalton, and Doug Brubaker, most recently this fall. We had a very smart class. Our class graduated with 5 salutatorians and 1 valedictorian. Might have been the smartest class in Milton, who knows? We were also the only class in Milton history to attend in the school in the McKinley Junior High, and then when the junior high was shut down, we moved over to the middle school, which is now the elementary school. We remember the days of dressing like dirt farmers for football games, being very proud when we played those city boys at Oakwood. Awesome pep rallies in the gym. Guys miniskirt day when we all got to wear miniskirts our senior year. We were very fortunate our senior year. We had a girls state volleyball team that we followed the fall of our senior year at UD Arena. And last but not least, one of the things at school, and this is very proud to me because Senior Citizens Day was of course with Big Ed Lindensky leading the charge, and my grandpa Horace Fogel also leading the way. I remember the days of getting cracks from teachers in the hallway in high school or in front of the class, especially if you missed throwing a paper wad in the trash can in Mr. Stratton's class. A few fun facts from 1987. Ronald Reagan was our president. Wall Street crashed down 22.6% in one day. This one was amazing to me. Fox Television and The Simpsons made their TV debut, 1987. And I thought this was a funny one. Hopefully not too many of you are on this, but Prozac made its debut as a drug. Walk Like an Egyptian spent the most days, or excuse me, the most weeks at #1 on the Billboard charts. A gallon of gas was 89 cents. Don't we wish we could pay that? A postage stamp was 24 cents. And best of all, I think the 80s music is still the best. Bon Jovi. Yeah. Finally, I would like to end by saying I'm very proud to be a Milton Union grad and a Bulldog. I'm even more proud that I moved back to this area, to West Milton. I brought my family back here. My son and daughter are Bulldogs too. We were gone for 23 years, or I've been gone for 23 years. There's 3 generations of Fogels that have ran the halls at Milton School. My dad, me, and now my kids. So that's a big deal. And shoot, I even think that my wife is an honorary Bulldog as well. So thank you very much, and go Dogs.
I thought I was working my way to the front, but that was a long walk. At this time, I would proudly like to introduce the class of 1972. We'll Stanley Houston, please stand up. Bryce Baker and his wife, Jill Fogel Baker. Craig Helsinger and his wife, Dana Liebling-Good Helsinger. Cheryl Honeyman Harry and her husband, Kevin. Susan Stockslager Anderson. Debbie Shade Heister and her husband, Norman. Denny Miller. Kay Null Miles and her husband, Chester. Debbie Beam Sevitz. Steve Thompson and his wife, Cindy. Rick Johnson. I don't know if Jolene let him out of the kitchen. Well, he's down there washing dishes somewhere. Joy Ginn and Billy. Doug Williams and Rosemary. Dennis Johnston and Maxine. Neil Shade and Linda. Kitty Klipstein and Fred Breidenbaugh. Doug Williams and Rosemary. Oh, sorry, Doug, I had you sign twice. I guess one time you're Rosie and one time you're Rosemary. Sorry about that, Rose. Diane Kantz-Chunk and her husband, Jim. Daryl Engel and his wife, Pam. Tim Hemrick and his wife, Pat. Jim Wilson and his wife, Lori. Kathy Wagar Wright. Colette Steiner Shelley. Nancy Wilgus Kissinger. Carol Gordon. Those guys have been my housemates for the last couple of days. Pam Bechtel Hitchcock and her husband, John. Sharon Leitner Blackmore. Debbie Harrison Burns and her husband, Bob. Sue Whiting Cummins and her husband, Rod Cummins, both classmates. Tom McDonald and his wife, Marlene. Dr. Steve Altick. Paul Halstern. Roger Alball and his wife, Carol. Of course, Lynette. And her lovely, lovely husband, Michael. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Nadine. I apologize to her tonight because I think she got an email from me just about every single day requesting something or asking her to change something, or I would tell her I had attached a file. She would send the email back saying, what file? Scott, you haven't taught me well yet. I would also be remiss if I didn't thank Dr. Ramel for allowing us to do this every year and for being so supportive. And Scott, thank you for representing the high school. So thank you so much. Of course, Jolene, it goes without saying, we're still trying to comprehend how you cook 700 meals because Michael's still trying to get me to cook one. And I would like to leave you with this quote from Wicked. Because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
And at this time, for 1962, I would like to introduce Martha Spittler-Kuntz.
Good evening. My name is Marty Kuntz, and I'm representing the honored Milton Union class of 1962. Yes, I did write my name down because I was afraid I would forget it when I got up here. So I'm sure back in 1961 when they elected me the vice president of my class, I never dreamed I'd be up here. But I do have the privilege of presenting the class of 1962. Leaving our secure homes, we started our adventure in Milton Union Elementary in 1950. We were greeted at the McKinley Building by our principal, Mrs. Minnick, and one of the following: Mrs. Ruth North, Mrs. Alma Graham, Miss Maribel Dickey, and Miss Ruth Stapp. We were the first class of Milton Union High School to graduate over 100 students. Contemplating where these 100-plus classmates are, brought to mind in the Bible, the book of Acts, chapter 17, God said, I determined the time set for them and the exact places where they should live. He did this so that men would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from each of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. So, of those 100-plus classmates, we now have 23 classmates out of state, 46 classmates in other parts of Ohio, 19 classmates still in the Milton Union School District, and 18 classmates deceased. In 1962, the average income was $5,556 a year. A new home was $12,500. Gasoline was 28 cents a gallon. The audio cassettes were invented, and Beverly Hillbillies was the #1 TV series. As a class, we met last night for a dinner downstairs in the cafeteria for one last nostalgic meal in this building. 42 classmates plus guests were in attendance.
And at this time, I would like to introduce the speaker for the class of 1952, James Schumacher.
It is my pleasure to present the class of 1952. 60 years ago, the basketball team featuring the Fox Twins was undefeated in regular season. We also had an excellent track team with honors at state. We had in-house programs in agriculture, industrial arts, home economics, as well as college prep. We learned to work together with paper drives, car washes, to earn money for the class trip to Washington, D.C. and New York City. Get this, about a dozen of our classmates meet for breakfast every month. Who says friendships don't last forever? Please hold your applause while I introduce the class of 1952 attending tonight. Just wave your hands, we're a little bit older, we don't have to stand up. Carol Arnett Vore, Nancy Bogue Mischler, Dwayne Breidenbaugh, Rosemary Brower Renner, Jean Brown. Jean Brown contacted everyone in the class. We have 35 of the graduating class of 56 remaining. We also have former classmates we consider part of our class. Bernard Evans, Felina Fogel Trissel, Diane Kugler Houston and John Houston, Eileen Lawrence Weidel, Mary Lou McGowan Miller, Ron Minnick, Joyce Ann Meyer Wackert and Dwayne Wackert, Janice Newman, Shirley Norris Brush, Doris Oburn Johns, Jim Schumacher, Ron Spittler, Nancy Studebaker Smith, Barbara Sutherland Whiteman, Twyla Swank Schroyer, Jackie Thompson Adams, Gary Weiser. Thank you. And our class song was to the tune of For All We Know We May Never Meet Again. I'm sure we'll never meet again here.
At this time, we pay tribute to our Bulldogs who have passed away. I would like to introduce my friend, David Minton.
Thank you, Julie. It is an honor to stand here before you. Heartfelt condolences to those of you who knew the names of the people that I am about to read. As hard as it is to see them go to see their final reward in life, remember that it was and still is a blessing that how these people affected our lives. This is a tribute for Milton Union alumni that will be greatly missed and never forgotten. Go ahead. Class of 1934, Jack Spittler. Class of 1935, Jane Spittler Brunner. Class of 1935, Faith Smyers. Class of 1936, Ruth Wright Carey. Class of 1937, Norman Rogers. Class of 1937, Ruth Warner Comer. Class of 1938, Mary Furlong McGee. Class of 1939, Louise Cress Whitaker. Class of 1940, Marie Stoner Lehman. Class of 1941, Bernie Castle. Class of 1942, Jean Hunt Baker. Class of 1945, Helen Arnett McFarland. Class of 1945, Shirley Pearson Stein. Class of 1945, Betty Vore Suderek. Class of 1946, William Carroll. Class of 1946, Esther Snyder Longenecker. Class of 1946, Patsy Waymeyer Thayer. Class of 1947, Donald Kendall. Class of 1947, Betty Landis Allball. Class of 1947, Art Yeomans. Class of 1948, Bill Stein. Class of 1949, Nancy Frederick Jones. Class of 1949, Robert Hurst. Class of 1949, Constance Widener. Class of 1950, Marilyn Burns Carnes. Class of 1950, Ruth Perkypile Stewart. Class of 1951, Ronald Schaefer. Class of 1951, Virginia Yunt Hissong. Class of 1952, Helen Boatman Cleather. Class of 1952, James Dittmer. Class of 1952, Shirley Scarfield Edgell. Class of 1952, Patricia Hurst Ogden. Class of 1953, Harold Oda. Class of 1954, Larry Westfall. Class of 1957, Mary Ann Yunt Huffaker. Class of 1958, Bennett Carroll. Class of 1958, Susie Lees Borton. Class of 1959, Denny Hancock. Class of 1959, Sonny Ray Knife. Class of 1960, Mike Simbola. Class of 1960, Mary Ann Simmons. Class of 1961, Roger Brooke. Class of 1964, Sharon Burnside Mall. Class of 1965, Richard Lee Abshire. Class of 1965, Raymond Miller. Class of 1970, Robert Hornick. Class of 1971, Sheila Frady Shipper. Class of 1974, Barbara Brian Kress. Class of 1976, Timothy McHouston. Class of 1977, O.C. Samuel Fairchild. Class of 1978, Larry Mitchell. Class of 1987, Doug Brubaker. Class of 1988, Joey King. Class of 1988, Brad Wolf. Class of 1988, Greg Lambert. Class of 1995, David Steele. Class of 1997, Aaron Gallimore. Class of 1997, Aaron James Higgins. And I think that's all I've got except one more. Past faculty, Edward Lindinsky, also known to many as Big Ed.
I would like to introduce Yvonne Martindale Kochsenberger. She will recognize the Hall of Honor inductee.
First, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and spending this very hot evening with us. My husband and I graduated from here. Our daughter is in the 25-year class. Our other daughter is in the 20-year class. And we have a grandson that's a sophomore that's helping to pour your drinks for you tonight. And my dad graduated from 1950. My mom was supposed to graduate from here, but her parents moved, so she was from Northridge. She was a polar bear. I'd like to also remind you that after the cotillion tonight, when you go to that, if you're still wanting to talk, come on down to the American Legion. We're having the after alumni party. So please feel free to come down there, parking in the Eagles, in the church across the road from there, and also in the American Legion parking lot. Now to get on with our Hall of Honor. The 2012 Hall of Honor recipient is Joyce Ann Harley Doan. Joyce graduated from Milton Union in 1961. She received her baccalaureate degree in nursing from Case Western Reserve University. While in nursing school, she met a medical student, Rochus Doan, whom she married in 1966. Together, they started married life on the U.S. Peace Corps staff in Peru, where she helped her physician husband as a nurse. In 1968, they came to Seattle and settled there. Joyce did further nursing graduate study at the University of Washington, then participated in the formation of the Cancer Lifeline, becoming its first director. In 1979, they became the proud parents of a daughter, Marisha Elizabeth, at which time Joyce became a full-time mother, homemaker, and a career volunteer. During the 80s and 90s, Joyce founded the Share House, which became a project of the Church Council of Greater Seattle. She was also an active board member of the Seattle-Tashkent Sister City Association. Together with her husband and daughter, she made several trips to Tashkent in Soviet Uzbekistan and hosted several Soviet visitors to her home in Seattle. Joyce and her family spent a year as a guest resident in Tashkent and became a highly successful English teacher. Her home became known as the Seattle Consulate, where many Uzbek and Russian friends and students would drop in. Joyce was also instrumental in operating the first email connection to Tashkent through the antiquated phone lines to connect to the server in Moscow. After the breakup of the Soviet Union, Joyce and her family lived for a year in Moscow while her husband served as director for the Project Hope. After returning home to Seattle, Joyce helped a young Tashkent medical student, Akhlar Rakhmadov, who had suffered a catastrophic facial injury from a fireworks accident. She rallied the resources of the STSCA, Providence, and Harborville hospitals to bring Akhlar and his surgeon to Seattle Reconstructive Surgical Facilities. For this work, Joyce received the Seattle King County Chapter American Red Cross 1997 Heroes Breakfast Medical Award, shared with Harborview plastic surgeon Dr. Gruss. Joyce had to face the constant pain and frustration of a progressive disease in her later years. Joyce passed away in November of 2002. We are proud to give this award to Joyce Ann Harley Doan, and accepting the award is Joyce's brother, Gerald.
It's indeed an honor to be here and to accept this on Joyce's behalf. We followed her life. We didn't see each other much because we were miles apart, but we followed her life, and we're proud of all that she accomplished. And I will see that this is given to her daughter yet this summer. Her daughter couldn't be here, but she's getting married, and so we are going to be seeing her later. Thank you for this honor on behalf of Joyce.
Please welcome Dr. William Ginn. He will recognize the Athletic Hall of Fame inductees.
Thank you. I'm here to announce for the first time publicly the newest members of our Milton Union Athletic Hall of Fame. Before I do that, however, I'd like to tell you how the selections for the Hall of Fame are made. The Hall of Fame Committee accepts new nominations each year until March the 1st. That being said, nominations for next year's class are open. You may contact me with a nomination or Tom Kugler in the athletic department with any nomination you might have. All nominees must have graduated at least 10 years prior to the year of their induction. Each year in April, the committee sits down and reviews the current nominees, and a maximum of 4 people are selected by secret ballot. The selected athletes are then contacted and informed of their selection, and the alumni banquet is used as the venue for the first public announcement of the inductees' names. Each inductee has a permanent plaque that will be placed on display in our new school in a prominent place right in the athletic entryway. So make sure later this year when the school is open, you come and visit our great new Hall of Fame. The honored athletes are also given a plaque to display in their homes. So this is where I hope you come in. The Hall of Fame committee receives no funding from the school whatsoever. The operating funds come from donations, and we have been helped immensely by donations from our alumni. Some of you even giving money for a plaque for one of our nominees, maybe someone who's your classmate or your friend or just someone who you thought a lot of. If you are someone who'd like to do that this year, please contact our athletic department and Tom Kugler and express your wishes. The Hall of Fame committee is also has some items for sale over to my left at the tables. They're taking orders for some really nice Four Seasons pictures of the front of our school. It's a really beautiful set of pictures. It's $10. If you're interested in that, please go to the table to my left. To date, the Athletic Hall of Fame has a total of 32 inductees, 8 charter members, and 24 selections from the previous years. I'm proud to announce that the newest Hall of Fame members are, from the class of 1990, Kim Berner. Kim was one of the great all-around female athletes in MU history, earning 10 varsity letters in 4 different sports. In volleyball, she garnered all-league, all-district, and all-Ohio honors, and in basketball, she finished her career number 2 on both the all-time scoring list and the all-time rebounding list behind Hall of Fame charter member Kelly Behrens. She used her volleyball skills to take her to Troy University in Troy, Alabama, where she was an all-Gulf South Conference performer. From the class of 1991, Clint Magel. Clint was a multi-sport star in the early 90s, earning 7 varsity letters. He was an all-Southwestern Rivers Conference performer in football and basketball, and was SRC champion in 3 track events, holding Milton Union records in all 3. Clint was voted the outstanding senior male athlete in 1991. And now I'm going to turn the dais over to Ron Berta, who's going to give the remaining 2 introductions.
Thanks, Doc. This is an unusual process, and that will be cleared up here in just a minute. The third inductee is from the class of 1955, Dick Overla. Dick was an outstanding performer in 4 sports during his time at Milton. He earned 13 varsity letters. He was twice voted Milton Union's most outstanding offensive back and was a 2-time All-Southwestern Buckeye League performer in football. He was the outstanding senior male athlete in 1955. Post-graduation, he attended Baldwin Wallace College and was a 4-year football letterman there as well. He is the 3rd member of the class of 1955 to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Charter members were Bob Schul and Ken Hemrick. And the next inductee is from the class of 1974, Dr. William Ginn. Doc was a 3-sport letterman in football, basketball, and baseball while at Milton. He earned all Southwestern Buckeye League honors in all 3 sports and was All-Ohio in football his senior year. He was the 1974's outstanding senior male athlete. After Milton, he attended Butler University, where he led the NCAA Division II in pass receptions in 1976. He has also served as Milton's team physician and statistician for multiple sports since 1984. Doc Ginn, congratulations.
It's now time for the business section of tonight, so it's time for the approval of last year's minutes. Do I have a motion to pass last year's minutes? And a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you. They are passed. Now it's time for treasurer report from David Wine.
In our newsletter account, we have a balance of $4,745.50. Our scholarship account contains $24,516.75. Our general operating account, $53,898.89, for a total in operating accounts of $83,161.14. Our UBS investment account has $321,746.11, for a grand total of all alumni accounts, $404,907.25.
And the last part of the business section is the nominations for new officers for next year. The slate of officers are for 2012-2013, and they are President, Mr. Scott Vogel; Vice President, Pam Stonerock Paulus and Sherry Stamper Beard will share that; and Secretary Tracy Otto Dietz. Is there a motion to approve the new officers? Thank you. Second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? So is passed. It's time to introduce the seniors for the 2012 class. So I would like to introduce Andrea Fetters at this time.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Andrea Fetters. I'm the class president of the class of 2012, and I'm going to be going to The Ohio State University to major in biomedical engineering in the fall. And at this time, I would like to ask the rest of my class to please join me up here to introduce yourselves to everyone. Sure. Thank you, Dr. Ramel.
Kelsey Garrison. I'm Kelsey Garrison. I'll be attending Wright State in the fall for athletic training. I'm Emily Bankert. I'm going to Ball State University in the fall and majoring in psychology.
I'm Megan Swartz. I'll be attending the University of Memphis in the fall, and I'll be majoring in art history.
I'm Michaela Litton, and I will be attending Ohio University in the fall, and I am majoring in psychology.
I'm Kristen Donor. I will be attending the University of Toledo in the fall, and I'm majoring in exercise science.
Hi, I'm Taylor Luger. I'm in the Marine Corps. I'll be leaving in October, and I'm majoring, not like majoring, but my job is logistics.
My name is Rachel Davis. I will be attending Bowling Green State University in the fall, and I am undecided.
Hi, my name is Sydney Helsinger. I will be attending Ohio Dominican University to study social work and then go on to get my master's in counseling.
I'm Jessie Finfrock. I will be attending Cedarville University and majoring in pre-law.
Hi, my name is Emma Swiger, and I will be going to Hawking College in the fall to study wildlife sciences.
I'm Marshall Winterbotham. I'll be attending The Ohio State University to major in mechanical engineering.
OH!
Hi, my name is Cassie Shields, and I will be attending the University of Michigan to study biology.
Hi, I'm Tyler Hunt. I'll be attending The Ohio State University for finance.
Hi there, I'm Matt Howard. I'll be attending Ohio University for journalism, advertising, and a little bit of culinary arts on the side.
My name is Riley Shipe. I'll be attending Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University this fall and studying aeronautical science.
I'm Alexander Burbridge. I'll be attending Creative Images, and I will be studying business and cosmetology.
My name is Catherine Bussey. I will be attending the University of Cincinnati, and I'll be studying graphic communication design.
I'm Lainey Hildebrand, and I'll be attending Bowling Green State University studying business management.
My name is Kevin Brackman. I'll be attending the University of Southern Indiana to study early childhood education.
I'm Kane Smiley. I'm going to Edison to study business management.
I'm Corey Klosterman. I'm going to Hocking College to major in natural resource law enforcement.
My name is Josh Stefanko, and I will be attending The Ohio State University in the fall to major in mechanical engineering.
My name is Caleb Barnes, and I will be attending The Ohio State University in the fall to major in business administration as part of the Business Scholar Program.
My name is Brent Lucas. I will be attending the Findlay University for criminal justice.
My name is Alex Junt. I'll be attending Ohio University to major in graphic design and advertisement.
My name is Caitlin Seisner, and I'll be attending Lee University in Tennessee, and I will be majoring in business accounting.
Hi, I'm Tracy Rogers, and I'll be attending Wright State University, majoring in nursing.
Hi, I'm Danielle Vincent. I will be attending Ohio Valley University this fall and majoring biology, and then continue my career to become a prosthesist.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Vincent. I will also be attending Ohio Valley University and majoring in biology and hopefully become a pediatrician or neonatal intensive care unit doctor.
My name is Kelsey Flory, and I'll be attending Sinclair for radiology.
My name is Tyler Maiden. I'll be attending Edison in the fall, majoring in criminal justice.
I'm Ann Tormey. I'm going to Wright State in the fall to major in biology.
I'm Megan Baker. I'll be attending Xavier University for occupational therapy.
I'm Clay Minton. I'll be attending Miami University for psychology.
I'm Trey Overla. I will be attending Miami University next fall, and I'll be majoring in a medical field.
I'm Stephanie Abrams, and I'm going to Wright State for computer security.
Thank you.
It's now time for David Wyan to announce the alumni scholarships.
If I can, before we begin the presentation of the scholarships, I would like to take just a brief moment, a very brief moment in this warm room to remind you of the process that we go through each year in determining the recipients of our scholarships. We work very closely with the high school guidance office. They have our applications, and they make sure that every graduating senior has the opportunity to apply for an alumni scholarship. Our application packets have two parts. The first part is a financial aid form that the parent or guardian completes and returns to the Alumni Association. The second part is the application that the student completes, and they return that to the guidance office here at the school. Each year we form two subcommittees. The first subcommittee looks at the financial aid form and ranks and rates that. The second subcommittee reviews the student's applicant, and that is ranked. Those two committees work independently of each other, and information is not shared between the two. The findings from those two committees, though, is given to the selection committee each year, and they are the committee that determines the recipients of the scholarships. I also would like to say just a little bit about the money that we have as the Alumni Association. We are very fortunate here in Milton to have a nice balance that we are able to give scholarships from. Basically, money comes our way in three forms. One way would be an endowment, and that is where someone gives a larger sum of money with the stipulation that we invest the principal of funds and only give scholarships on the interest that's earned each year. Those represent the funds that are in the UBS account. Probably 90% of those funds are endowment funds. The second way would be someone may fund a certain or a particular scholarship. We have, over the years, given like the Viola Evans Brown or the Kathleen Geating Scholarship. Somebody funds those scholarships continually throughout the years, and we're able to give those scholarships. And the third way is just people who give the Alumni Association money, and with no specific strings attached or no specific scholarship that they wanted attached to. Those funds, as we accumulate those, some of those are also in the UBS account, and we're able to give scholarships off the interest of that, and some of those are given just to give the principal away each year. To our seniors, we thank you for being here with us this year, and we thank you for applying for an alumni scholarship. If I call your name this evening, I ask that you come forward, and I will give you an envelope. Two things in the envelope. One is the award letter, and it tells you who the benefactor is of your scholarship. I also give you the name and the contact information for that person or that person's family. And we ask that you would just take a minute or two, if you are the recipient of that, to send a little note to the benefactor of your scholarship. Let them know who you are and what you plan on doing with the funds. We think it's always nice if you can let those people who are so generous in giving funds to us, let them know what you're doing with the funds. The second form needs to be completed and sent back to me at least 3 weeks prior to when you need the scholarship to allow us to do our paperwork there. Okay. That's that speech. Our first recipient of the Harold Antonides Milton Union Alumni Scholarship is Caleb Barnes. Our second is the George and Iris Bradshaw Scholarship Fund, and that goes to Callie Lerner. Is Callie here this evening? Okay. And I should say that all the scholarships this evening are $2,000 scholarships. The Viola Evans Brown Memorial Scholarship goes to Ann Tormey. The Charles Fine Memorial Scholarship to Taylor Hayes. Taylor not here? Oh, okay. The Hubert Fine Memorial Scholarship goes to Joshua Stefanko. The Kathleen Geating and Alumni Scholarship to Lane Hildebrand. The Zoe Wirtz Hittner Scholarship to Tracy Rogers. The Mike McGuffey Memorial Scholarship to Emma Swigert. The Jan Miller Carnes Memorial Scholarship to Megan Baker. The Milton Mishler and Milton Union Alumni Scholarship to Brent Lucas. The Lois Kashner Mott Memorial Scholarship to Megan Schwartz. George and Mary Trickett Memorial Scholarship to Kelsey Flory. The Jack Walther Athletic Scholarship and Milton Union Alumni Scholarship to Kelsey Garrison. The Robert Prudaball Memorial Scholarship to Trey Overla. The Dale Prudaball Memorial Scholarship to Danielle Vincent. The Raymond Prudaball Memorial Scholarship to Caitlin Vincent. The Charles Prudaball Scholarship to Catherine Bussey. The Phyllis Prudaball Scholarship to Jessica Finfrock. The Philip M. Swab Memorial Scholarship to Michaela Litton. A Milton Union Alumni Scholarship and a Philip M. Swab Memorial Scholarship to Stephanie Abrams. A Milton Union Alumni Scholarship to Marshall Winterbotham. A Milton Union Alumni Scholarship to Kane Smiley.
Thank you. You're welcome. Only smile. Thank you very much. How are you?
Milton Union Alumni Scholarship goes to Alexandria Berberick. A Milton Union Alumni Scholarship to Emily Bankert. A Milton Union Alumni Scholarship to Corey Klosterman. A Milton Union Alumni Scholarship to Riley Shipe. A Milton Union Alumni Scholarship to Tyler Hunt. And the Luella Morgan Cardos Award for $1,000 this year goes to Taylor Lugar. Lugar, I'm sorry. Seniors, we congratulate you, and again, we thank all of you for being here. As soon-to-be graduates of Milton Union High School, we invite you back every year to our alumni banquets. Always the same weekend in May, different place next year, but that's no excuse. You can find us. We're going to go on with the raffle drawing. Jim Schumacher, you can blame him for this because he's the one who drew the names. Fourth place goes to Raleigh Brewer. Raleigh Brewer, fourth place. Third place, Cynthia Northrup. Second place, Bernard Evans. And first prize to Sue Cummins. If any of you are here tonight, come and see me afterwards. I'll write you a check. And each year we throw all of the seniors' names together, guys and girls, and pick somebody to get $25 each. This year it's Emma Swigert and Alex Yunt. So be sure you come and see me before you two leave. I'll write you a check. Thank you.
Okay, as we get ready to close, I am supposed to make an announcement about the school auction. At the elementary and middle school, the school auction will be on June 28th at 10 o'clock. And there will be another auction at the high school on Saturday, June 30th, also at 10 o'clock. So I want to thank you all for coming tonight. Don't forget to stop into the cafeteria for the last dance at the last cotillion, started by Arthur Murray in 1949 and later taught by my grandparents, Ruth and Bob Tinnerman. It will surely bring fond memories. Pictures will be taken at the back of the gym, and there will also be an after party, like Pinky said, at the American Legion following the conclusion of the banquet. Don't forget to stop at the front table to purchase the fun Milton items such as the bobbleheads and glasses and DVDs. So thanks again for coming and have a great night. Oh.